The Garbe family. Good evening. My name is Bill Garbe. This is my wife Tammy and our oldest daughter Abigail. We've been asked to share with you briefly tonight how Tree of Life has been a blessing to us. My wife and I have 3 children, all of whom have attended Tree of Life since preschool. So as you can imagine, being a part of Tree that long, we've been able to enjoy a lot of blessings. For me, one of the blessings early on was having my children educated in a school that shared the same ideals as our family and our church. It was exciting to me to know that my children would receive a consistent education about God and what He expects from us as Christians, because all parents know that raising children is a team effort, and I consider it a real blessing to have teammates like Tree of Life.
I just wanted to take this opportunity to really thank Dr. Mara for thinking of us and giving us this opportunity to share, because we are extremely grateful for our time at Tree of Life. I just wanted to share about my first memory, because I think that was my first blessing. As we were making our decision about where to send our firstborn to preschool, I put a lot of energy and effort into that process. And Tree of Life was on our short list for numerous reasons, one of which my husband and I had been youth sponsors at our church and had encountered so many Tree of Life students during our time, just impressed me. So it just wasn't automatic as we went through our interview process, and it was a process. But I remember that day so well when we walked into the Westerville branch to meet Patty Thomas. My husband was coming over from his lunch hour at work and was going to meet us there, and I had set up the appointment, and I didn't know Patty, so I thought we were going to go through this interview, and really what it ended up being was a reunion, because when my husband saw Patty, instantly they were reminiscing and talking and laughing about all the good times at Beachwald. Patty had been one of my husband's Sunday school teachers, and for me personally, I think this was my first blessing, because my fears were alleviated immediately. God granted me peace and comfort, knowing that I was going to send my daughter into an environment that was so nurturing and so loving. And the blessings continue. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Abby Garbe. I'm a freshman at Tree of Life. All my life, I've grown up in a Christian home. My grandparents are Christians, my parents are Christians. As I've progressed through life, though, I would always hear people, especially teenagers, say how they didn't feel as though they had their own identity in their faith, and that they were just going through the motions. I've gone to Tree since I was in 2-day preschool. I feel rooted and that my faith isn't easily shaken, and mostly based on that fact that I was taught in a Christian education since I was young. We're always told about the battles and challenges God's preparing for us in life. And last year, I felt like I was being called to one of those battles, and that Tree had prepared me and gave me the tools to answer that call. Of course, I didn't know everything, but I felt that I was really being called to leave the comfort and familiarity of Tree. I shouldn't just be sitting idle with these tools. And not that they can't be used where God's placed me now, here at Tree, but I just really had this pull and tug that they needed to be used in my own community. So for my 8th grade year, I decided to go to Olentangy Orange Middle School, my neighborhood public school. When I got there, I knew no one. I felt like the groups were already established and that I didn't fit in. I realized, though, that those who don't fit in stand out. And when you stand out, it's because you're not doing what everyone else is doing. And I realized that I don't fit in here because I am living a different life. I'm not cussing and gossiping and cheating. I'm trying to live righteously in an unrighteous, unsheltered place. Of course I'm not going to fit in. While I was there, we were assigned a project to share things about ourselves that define us. And I realized that what defined me was my faith. I was really nervous, but knew in the most clear of ways that God wanted me to share with my class when I presented my project that my faith was one of the things that defined me. So the next day, I stood at the front of my class and shared with them that I was a Christian. I was just thinking, let me put it all out there and let you know what really does define me. And the revelation hit me that this is what it means to embrace your faith and have roots in your own identity. because no one except the Holy Spirit and those spiritual roots already placed in you can prompt you to go out of your comfort zone. And I think if it weren't for Tree and the roots they had placed in me, I wouldn't have that faith and that confidence in my faith to withstand the judgment and have the faith that what I'd been trained for was here and to answer that call. That experience made me realize even more what a blessing Tree was and is, and brought me full circle back to Tree that same year. And not that I didn't appreciate Tree before, but I think it was just God had trained me up to that point through Tree for that short time to go out and use those tools for that moment, and then be able to come back to the blessing of Tree, just having a whole new appreciation for it and perspective, that what I'm being taught here is the real deal. Tree has reinforced what I believe. The Christian teachers, students, Bible class, even just when someone says, I heard about this or that, I'll be praying for you. It's an honest family of godly people, and shows to me in so many ways that God really is using this school in effective, amazing ways.